So today finished the week green, full green week. It's great. Um, Also, another really positive and great thing to happen is, and this can change, week to week it can change, obviously, but the small account now is up over 400% from what I started with, which was 2,700, and so we're up over 11,000 now, inclusive of the current equity with what I took out. Today was choppy. It was tough. Again, even though it was a full green week, past couple of days, I don't feel like I'm seeing things as clearly right away as I would like, and I felt like I've left a lot of profit on the table. There's entries that I've you know taken and then got out of, or gotten in something um, and stopped out, or uh, you know wanted to get filled on something, or I'm trying to get filled on a stock that's breaking a level and there is no fill, or it's on short sale restriction, so it can only be filled on an uptick, or whatever it might be. There has been some things, but that's life as a trader, I suppose. And all that said, things have been moving well and in the right direction. And um, what I'm thinking of in terms of managing the account is I don't want to jump into sizing up too quickly, because that's something we need to be conscious of as traders. Is like especially with trade zero, right? Like there's 6 times leverage, so that's good for making a small account to begin with. However, you know uh, now my equity and my buying power, right, is up here at, we'll say, 50,000, right? And I think when this resets itself on Monday, it'll probably be higher. So anyway, so what that means is I'm making $1,000 today, meaning my buying power increases by 6,000. And even though I can't take that full amount because there's a limitation of 65% of your buying power that you can use, we'll say that my buying power is increasing by 4,000, right? So so what that means is, as I'm growing my account, I'm able to take quite a bit more size, right? The percentages are going up. So, I can quite quickly go from, taking a 200 share position to a 300 share position, which is now a 33% increase on the share size that I was taking, right? So what that also means is, if you're increasing that share size, your stops relevant to that share size, now if you're not managing it well, can become a problem. Because if you're taking 200 shares and the stop is 50 cents, then it becomes $100 loss. Now if you're taking 300 shares, right, you have a 50-cent stop, it's $150 loss. That's a 33% increase in your loss. So this is where, it's sizing up. You don't want to do that too fast, right? Maybe 10% or 15% of an increase in the size. So that way you can, avoid the emotional content of, getting yourself in a position that you're handling size that you haven't held before, and you're in a red position and you start to panic. And then, maybe you take a loss and then you get flustered, and then it, just cycles from there. And I've been through that. And so what I'm conscious of this time is managing my account so that, you know, getting, because I'm starting from the mindset of a small account, right? So I don't want to, jump the gun of switching my strategy and how I'm managing my account and all that stuff just because my buying power is increasing. So, maybe if I was trading larger account this whole time, then I would be in a position where that sizing doesn't bother me. But I'm conscious of that, and going forward, I think what I'm potentially going to do is continue to take a little bit out of the account so that hopefully we continue to see it grow. But it's, say it grows, so today it's grown 1,000, but if I take 500, the growth is only 500, and therefore the buying power is only increased by 3,000 rather than 6,000, right? And there's ways that you can manage your risk and your stops with, a risk to reward ratio. There's other ways you can do it as well, but on a percentage base or whatever. But for me, I like to be able to have some freedom to assess the charts and allow the charts to dictate what my stop is going to be. So, like the breakout candle, the low of the breakout candle might be my stop, or a 50% retracement on a certain candle, or whatever. So all those things, kind of need to factor them together when we're allocating our equity and our buying power. So that's something I'll think about. I haven't decided what I want to do yet. But anyway, so today was, like I said, a little more of a grind. This stock here, DDD, was one that moved yesterday, and I said I traded pretty well. Today I had a lot more struggle with. So the momentum today was actually a lot stronger than it was yesterday, in terms of on the downside. So you can see on this one, it kind of pushed up and moved sideways and then continued higher. This just literally went straight up from the bottom today, just straight up for a couple hours, right? It would have been a great trade to buy and hold, but definitely didn't expect that. Did trade it a couple of times on the way up and made some profit, but I did try to short it as well on the way down. Normally, I'm pretty good at shorting on the way down, finding a top and using my indicators to let me know. And there was kind of a lot of fake outs on this, and if I had just been a little more patient with it, because we can see here the MACD, so right here, right, MACD starts to trend downwards, crossover with the CMF trending downwards, everything's trending downwards. It's breaking down the support here and then continues lower. But I did take some losses in addition to the gains on the way up. I took some losses trying to short it on the way down, and then I did finally catch the short right. But this was also a stock where I couldn't get some fills on the short sale restriction, even though I was, catching the breakdowns right on point, it seemed like every time. So I feel like I could have definitely done better on that. And then another one that I traded was APDN. Now this is a small price name that I normally would not touch. There was a headline that came out, and my news feed here let me jump in on it. And so I jumped in on it because I really liked the headline. It's such a low price name, but the tests that they're doing with the are able to detect the new COVID variant, like COVID-19 variant. So and there's only one of two tests that do that, and this company holds one of them. So clearly that's probably a valuable and strong catalyst. And that's why I looked at it, I saw it, and I came up to a first halt right here, and I jumped in on the second halt. I just took a couple hundred shares because I don't trade these very well. It's not my forte. But you can see that I just kind of continued to halt up. And so I made a decent trade on that. And, the rest of the day, it was just, kind of back and forth. And I did, trade Lemonade again for a little bit of a breakout. Through here and just broke out, and I took a couple points on that. But there were ones that I missed, right? I took AI here early. I was looking and watching for a break over 144. I had my order at 144. I only had 10 shares of my 200 shares filled, and it ended up, my price target was 147. I ended up running to 146.54, and then up here 146.66. So got pretty close. I probably would have exited up there, or took my profits along the way. So that's frustrating, right? Because you're looking at, we'll say a 2.5 point move on 200 shares, right? Anyways, it was a good week. Really consistent. I'm not sure what the week started at. I might be looking at like 3,500 this week or something like that. I'm not sure, which is great, which is a really awesome week. And this is where now we started to build up the account. So potentially we can see some of those stronger days more frequently. And, that's obviously going to help grow the account. But we have to, like I said, watch the significance of the larger losses, right? Okay, so we'll get back to it on Monday.